welcome to episode 8 of the Witch King podcast. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone joining us after the festivity period. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, doing good. Happy New Year to all of you, of course, and the listeners and stuff as well.
Liddle, did you have a good Christmas, mate?
No, I was kind of in the recovery. I chucked through the cold for the entire Christmas and New Year period, so thankfully I'm just on the mend now.
It was class. I was in Wales for it. It was good. There was about 12 of us in the one house, and it was mental, but it was good.
Were you making the dinner?
Yeah, no, I made the dinner for it. It was a good opportunity to run away and be unknown.
Did you actually make it, right?
Yeah.
I was just trolling.
It was a good opportunity to go away on your own, and you were in a house of 12.
Yeah, I could hide from the fucking dozen people that were in the house.
I
were you
fancy
filming
getting
people
that
by the
one
dozen three?
What?
Said, was it filming cheaper by the dozen three?
This is some boomer shit I've never heard of.
That's like a stray movie reference I've ever
Bit
heard
of
of.
reference there that... I mean, I'm aware of it, but I've obviously not seen it.
Obviously, Dave. Obviously.
Anyway.
Yeah. At the end of last episode, we did mention that we were going to give a further announcement to the giveaway for AUE, Liddle's event that he's running on the 18th of January coming up. So it's only in a couple of weeks now away. Yet there is a little bit of time still to enter into the draw to try and get a free ticket for this. So today of recording is Monday, so hopefully get this out early this week, but we're still opening the draw until this coming Sunday. All you need to do to enter is just comment on this video below. We think that coming to the end of the first year of the new edition, we're just looking to see what your sort of thoughts on the new edition has been, any sort of highlights, lowlights of the new edition. Put any comment in the video and that'll be enough for you to enter. Is that right, Liddle?
Yeah, pretty much. At the end of Sunday, and then we'll get post up a winner on Monday.
Do you mention even if you're going, you can also throw in a comment in it? It'll be a refund instead of a free ticket.
That's correct. Anyone that is currently going, if you wish to get your 500 pence back, then join. Got a comment.
And there was a couple of people who commented on the previous episode as well. They will be included in the draw, but I hopefully will get a few nice comments on this episode and look forward to seeing who wins it.
Nice comments are always good, yeah.
Definitely, like Mark said, if you've already got a ticket, then still feel free to enter because you might get a refund off Liddle. That alone, getting money back off Liddle is enough reason to enter. So I'd be doing it for that reason.
Absolute bullshit. I'm good with the money.
Do you get it back in the same payment method that you paid with, or do you get it back in pennies and coins at your pocket?
252 pences.
500 DVDs for CX.
Pay you back purely in copy.
Cheaper by the dozen three. You're going to get that. Or whatever it was.
Awarding something on the Monday means I need to make a quick trip down to Blackpool, you know.
Yeah. Not like
That's
you
going to
did
be the first event of 2026, but this episode, I believe, we're going to be looking back at some of the events at the tail end of 2025 and the season as a whole and seeing how things have went.
Yep. So without further ado, we're going to get on to Fraser's event that he ran just at the tail end of last year's in December. Did you, I believe, any of you guys attend this one? I can't remember. I think you were there, Dave, right?
The three of us. It was just yourself. It was missing Casper. The other three of us were all there.
Nice.
Casper
Fraser ran this, as always. I know. Hurts to say so, but it happens. Yep, Fraser ran this event, and it's a new event, sort of a new venue, is that right? Called the Merchants Guild in Glasgow. I didn't recognise it from any of the photos. So is that a brand new venue?
Pretty much brand new. It only opened a couple of weeks before the tournament. There's a guy, Quinn, that used to work in Geek Retreat that some people might be familiar with. I think he's the owner of the place, and it's down in the sort of Merchant City area of Glasgow. But always cool to see some new places. I think they certainly still a bit of work in progress, and they were dead keen to take feedback on, which is good because I think there was probably a few issues around spacing and stuff like that, and some of the lighting and that could have been better. But the guy was asking us for thoughts after, which is always nice. I mean, that's pretty much all you can ask for a new place. So be interesting to see how they progress going forward and maybe there'll be some more events there next year. I think it's for a variety of games because they had a lot of card gamers and stuff in as well, and they had quite a lot of good stock of like card games, board games, and some miniature stuff as well. So, aye.
I know Fraser was talking about using them again. He was also the owner boy was saying that there was a lot of like there was some issues with the lighting and stuff, as you said, but I think that was getting resolved in literally like days after the tournament, so that should all be fine for any future events.
Cool. It's always good to see somewhere new, and especially in Glasgow. Was it Fraser that your event was running with, Mark, or was that Connor? I sort of forget. Remember yours running one earlier, it didn't go ahead. Was that with Fraser?
Oh no, that was me and Connor. Yeah,
Connor.
that was gonna be more of a. That was going to be an 80 in Dunfermline, which we're looking at doing kind of later this year and having another go at it, but with some changes.
Mm-hmm.
You might be getting mixed up because Fraser also was going to run another event earlier in the year. Well, I say earlier, it was like September or something.
Possibly. So, well, this event then, it was a Christmas-themed event, being in December. Interestingly, it actually was 2 games at 550 and 2 games at 750, which is pretty rare, to be honest. I'm quite a fan of the escalation type events, so that's quite cool. But importantly, there was a whole lot of kind of random Christmassy themed things going on, right? The scenarios were completely random, but there was sort of special gifts and things throughout the event. Is that right?
Yeah,
Aye,
you,
so
ro-
that's
you rolled a d20 at the start of your game to get like a Christmas gift. So like it went from like a lump of coal was a 1, and then it was a whole load of different stuff. So you had like Glamdring thrown in there, a Palantir, Boromir's Banner, some wild things.
Some of these are extremely good as well.
some of them are really good.
yeah.
Aye. And they vary a bit. Like if you get a lump of coal and your opponent gets, I don't know, like
Fiery Lash.
the serpent, but yeah, the fire lash or something like that, you're screaming.
And there's some really nasty combos because depending on who gets them, like if you get an piece of armor, it's going to replace your armor. But if you get a piece of armor and you've not got any armor, like maybe a Gulliver with a mithril coat, or something like that, or the fiery lash on Legolas who can shoot 3 times with it, there's definitely some jank that Santa can be delivering for Christmas.
It all kind
But
of
it's cool.
makes it a bit of fun.
And you
Yeah,
could
it's cool.
re-roll it if you got something you'd already got and you didn't want it. You could re-roll, which was nice because nobody wants to get 4 lump of coals.
Was this a GBHL event then? I don't. have it
GBHL
marked.
90,
Nice.
and the scenarios were partially random, but you'd removed some of them. So, like I think out of the 24, there was maybe like 18 of the 24 available. Some of which were only available for the 750 ones that are maybe played a bit better, played at slightly bigger points. But yeah, it was cool.
Good stuff. Moving on to our winners then. I don't see any of you 3 in these.
Nah, sadly not.
Nah, the podcast slightly bottled it.
I went
Aspiring
3-1.
to attend.
So
I
the
mean,
Good God.
I think, but
Okay,
Dave
rephrase it. I bottled it.
Dave was 4th and I was 5th or something.
Aye.
5th and 6th. Yeah, I was 5th and Liddell was 6th. And I'm going to need to scroll a bit further for Mark, so I'll leave that one to the listeners to go and have a check.
Has continued.
Henry
Mark was on a
Williams
trend
then took
at the
his
end of last
first win. Henry Williams took his first win of a GBHL event, which is class because Henry, as time of recording, is on my not WTC, my STC team. So it's good to see a fellow team member for that one bringing the first dub in. Army of Dunland. Now, you guys will need to keep me right. It's obviously like an imposter version of Usurpers, this list, by the looks of things. Thryden's a bit of a beat stick, right? What is the sort of Legion rules for Army of Dunland? Because this just looks like Cabane guys and leaders, sort of similar to, how Usurpers work.
It's a legacy army, this one, so a little bit different. I mean, well, I guess first off, actually, just well done to Henry because it's nice to see someone win their first event, and it's also really nice to see someone that's been doing well podiuming. I think he'd had 6 podiums before, and this was 7th one, first win. So that's super cool, and it's nice to see someone win with someone that's a bit different as well. Like, as much as we see Cabane and we talk a lot about Cabane, but the fact that this is it's a legacy army, it's not quite the same as what people are running in terms of Usurpers. But the actual Dunland rules, they get a few special rules, and it's all legacy, and a lot of them I think were, I don't know for certain, but I think a lot of them are like more the old metal models and stuff as well that Henry was using. So it's obviously like really an army he enjoys, and it's cool to see people winning with that sort of stuff. But the rules that they get friendly Dunlin models gain hatred Rohan, so like nice enough if you come up against Rohan. Their banners are boosted to 6 inches instead of 3, so that's quite important because they've not got a huge access to spears. And they're although the Wildmen now can take spears actually, so that's pretty decent. Whereas this was like previously they didn't have that option. And then the other thing they have is Dunlendon Warcry, which is once per game at the start of any fight phase. Fryden can use this special rule as long as he's alive. If he does, until the end of the turn, all friendly Dunlin models within 12 inches of Fryden get +1 to wound when making strikes. And
Nice.
you can obviously combo that with like a lot of two-handed weapons and stuff if you've taken them, which we've got Henry's list here, so we can have a little look and see exactly what he's taken. But
Do the Husk
Can they
arrows have two-handed weapons?
They've got a kind of halberdy thing that can be
Yeah, it's a
both a spear
two-handed. I
and a
can't
two-hander.
remember of it. All right, yeah.
They
that's
can
right.
spear support, right?
Yeah, so they
Hospitals
can spear
can,
support,
yeah.
yeah.
they're like
Originally,
kind of like,
they were the only spear support option they had.
Yeah,
Aye,
in fact,
that's
they've
right.
got a rule built around it where if they're within 3 inches of a Dunland hero and they are supporting, they go to Fight 4. It's like the most limited Fight 4 access in the world, but it is there.
Aye.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, Thryden has always been a bit of a beat stick, and Gorolf is still one of the most point efficient heroes in the game. He's absolute amazing. Obviously, we don't know what he rolled on for his Santa gifts, which could
Yeah.
be quite game changing, really.
That's right, though.
There's a reset every game, I'm assuming. You don't keep
each
them.
game you get to
Yeah.
reroll for a new
Yeah.
one. And as I say, you can reroll it if you've got one you've already halved. So you get the opportunity to get
And there
three
was
different ones.
also there was one that got re-rolled. I think if you got Bonebreaker, it got re-rolled because it was kind of noticed on the day that it really didn't do very much, and so people were getting to re-roll that.
Yeah, lack
No,
of
I
health.
mean it's at a glance, it really is just kind of like usurpers and disguise really in it. Not that that's a bad thing. I agree with Dave. It's nice seeing something different. Only
quite similar.
3 Kerbin, which I guess is like usurpers like.
Yeah. And then he goes to 4 in the 750, so it's really just a case of adding in Frida Tall Spear and an extra kind of similar warband to what
I'm going to go as far as saying that that's probably a model limitation. I reckon I could be wrong. If he has more uses,
If
more.
I
It's
remember
probably
correctly, I
less.
think it is. I think I might be wrong, but I think I sold him this army, and I only sold him 4 Krebin. I'm pretty sure. So if he hasn't bought more, then it might be a model limitation.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of Dunlendon horsemen as well. There's just like the one in the first army, but then it goes up to, I think it goes up 4. He's got, as it gets bigger, which again, it's kind of nice to get to use
They're
those.
quite good, cheap Gav. I think they're only 12 points by the looks of it. And they've got a funny little rule where they get to reroll wounds against other mounts. To get
Yeah,
reroll wounds
believe
against
so.
wargs and horses and stuff. Which is an interesting thing. Doesn't come up hugely often, but still nice to have nonetheless.
I mean, at
And this-
550, like having 40 models, 12 bows, Dryden's a good beat stick. Gorolf's good at killing stuff. Oathmaker makes him fearless still, I'm assuming. Crebain, loads of models. It kind of makes sense, really. It is really just like usurpers, to be honest. There's
Although
not a
it's-
massive difference.
not mega popular. I think it's deceptively scary because it's a bit of a front on our list to a degree where it kind of wants to get ahead early because you can get your line into your opponents, call your 12-inch +1 to win. You've got a banner everywhere, and you throw your Krebin over the back to take off all their spears and try and win as many fights as possible. And then you've got +1 to win, maybe +2 in some areas, and you should on that turn be killing a hell of a lot of troops.
I'd imagine a lot of times you just lose all
Yeah.
the fights. But obviously,
Yeah,
That
the
is
army
the
is like
downside, but
soft lock to fight 3.
yeah.
You
You've
do
got your
have
Marmy
fight 4
Whites.
access, but
you got the banners at least, so like it's an extra chance to reroll. But if that turn goes badly, it's going to suck a bit, like for sure.
So the
What
list
is-
does what it did in the previous edition.
I think it plays a bit more like it did in the previous edition to maybe so much more how usurpers play now.
yeah, it's almost exactly the same. Those army bonuses, I'm pretty sure, are identical or very nearly.
And you've got obviously Fryden's got his mighty blow, so he's doing 2 wounds, which is great. And then if he was lucky enough to get one of the named weapons, like maybe say an Admiral or Glamdring or something like that, like that's going to be really good. It means he doesn't have to go 2-handed either. which is nice. Or also if he does get like the mithril coat or something, just being a bit less squishy is kind of nice. So there's definitely scope for a few cool
Is
gifts,
Frida?
Christmas gifts in there.
I think Frida gives you the kind of she has like reroll to wound against mounts as well or something, right? Am I making that up? I don't think she's got anything amazing.
I think she does. Our main sort of like special rule that makes her unique is that she cancels charges. So like if cavalry charge her or she charges a charging cavalry model, they lose their cap bonus.
So could be quite useful, I guess.
Yeah, this army fucking hates horses for some reason.
Aye,
I'm sure
not
there's
a fan
some
of
lower
horses.
reason for that, but
No into horses. Well done, Henry. Like you say, Henry's been sort of sniffing around wins. Certainly a player that's kind of a bit, I mean, know him fairly well. He's probably wouldn't mind me saying still sort of learning, still not. I mean, comparatively to me, Liddell and Dave, at least sort of played the game for quite a long time. Well, me not so much Lord of the Rings, but I don't know if Henry's sort of massively. Could be wrong.
I think I played Henry. The first time I played Henry, and it might well have been his first GBHL tournament, was at this event 2 years ago, I want to say, or like a similar event that was run by I think by Fraser in Geek Retreat a couple of years towards tail end of the season 2 years ago. So and even at the time, I think that was his first event. I was like, oh, the guy seems like pretty clued in. Like, seems like he'll be somebody that if he sticks it and goes to more events in the next couple of seasons, we'd probably see him doing all right. And quite quickly was able to get a few podiums and stuff over the last couple of years, and so nice to see him get that first one.
He was also at WTC last year.
Yeah,
he's captain of
experience as well.
He's Team 3 captain, is not this year?
This year he will be. Last year he went down as a merc to kind of help out the event, so he actually played on like England 2 or something like that, just to like make sure that they had a team. And that was nice to get a bit of experience for doing that. And this year he's the Scotland Team 3 captain, which is cool. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, what you sometimes find, we've all said it, sometimes you get that first win and you just find yourself winning. I don't know, it's just a weird the way luck works. I think sometimes you get in and then you just find yourself winning. So hopefully it continues.
I think the person we're about to talk to is probably a good example of that. Someone that after they got their first win, they kept winning and winning and winning some more. So didn't quite win this one. Did actually lose to Henry on the top table in the last game.
Mr. Top Scott, Mr. Top of the region, it turned out as well, which I guess we'll go on to a bit later. Mr. Mark's friend. What went wrong with you, Mark? Finley's left you behind.
He's not your friend, though, Dave. Nah, no, you're just Mark.
Nah, fucking
just Mark's. Yeah, only Mark.
Get it up him. Radagast's Alliance coming in second place for Finley to round the year off. I think by this point, was this before or after the finale? I can't remember how the
GBHL finale. So this was before it, yeah.
Right, so
this was a week after Scouring.
Yeah, so at this point, we still
before.
didn't really fully know if he was going to finish top. So, but I'm assuming a 90-point event perhaps wouldn't have actually changed much.
It wasn't going to make too much a difference to him. I think if he'd won it, it might have like impacted. I don't know if it even impacted his region score at all. To be honest, it would have impacted his GBHL score slightly. But
if I remember correctly, it was that he was wanting to get the win to affect his kind of overall GBHL score to try and guarantee.
Possibly also as a defence as well, but stop like Eon winning it or something.
Stops other people winning it. I think it was more so Andy actually. Like again, Ian was in a similar position. It was more like Andy or myself that would have benefited a bit more from the win on this one. Although we played each other in the first game actually, and neither of us went on to get that win or even a podium. But I think Finley try something a wee bit different.
Raddy's Alliance, funnily enough, Mr. Dave Farmer's using it, and then there's Finley just at the rear of him running Raddy's Alliance. What's next? The Mimic and the
Great Beast.
Yeah, the Great Beast. Which I can see that coming on the scene. I was saying this the other day. Anyway, Raddy's Alliance, don't need to go into it too much. It's been covered at length. High skill army, I would personally say. There will be times when it's really not high skill. It just runs in and kills stuff, but got to be pretty good at knowing where to be, when to be, especially with the scenarios when they end and so on and so forth. So not everyone can just pick up and play it. So well done to Finley. Obviously with the escalation, there's just not much tweaks really that happens. It's just adds in a couple of eagles, to be honest. Any comments on Rari's Alliance, guys?
I think that the big one really is that especially when he's only got 3 models, we had Destroy Supplies in game 2, and Destroy Supplies and with only 3 models is quite a tough mission. So to come through that in the way that he did against a fairly sizable Grand Army of the South list, and he managed to win that 18-0, I think, just looking at the results on TTA, and that's a really good result for him to win that. And Sights of Power was the first one, which is the Maelstrom one, kind of new Maelstrom one, where there's 4 objectives, 1 in the centre each table quarter. So not necessarily the best missions for this army, and if he come through them both pretty well. And then he beat the person who we'll come on to, who actually came third. He beat in game 3, only to lose to Henry in the last game. And the last mission was Convergence. I believe,
Convergence.
yes, it was Convergence. So I'd have thought Convergence would have been all right for him because he's able to get onto the objectives quite quickly. But the Dunlin do have that thing about them that if they trap an eagle and win the fight, they'd probably just kill it.
It's probably also just
You
if
got
they get a Caribbean into like Gwahi or still,
Aye.
you know, I mean,
The
there's no
Oathmaker,
guarantee he kills it. Yeah, the Oathmaker.
the
makes me fear
Oathmaker
it.
letting you pass the courage test is huge. Like
Yeah.
that's such a big thing to keep him alive. So
Beyond heavily relies on those free combats, and as soon as you have a guy and then a Caribbean, all of a sudden it's like shit. You're no
Yeah.
longer guaranteed that. But yeah, well done, Finlay. He's had an awesome year. I will kind of come more on to that in a general sense, but
one thing I will say for Finlay is that you'll see for the pictures that the prizes for these were sort of dwarf helmets, and I think Finlay definitely pulls off the dwarf helmet look the best for the 3 people on the podium. Like it's very fitting.
Yeah, I think he'd be an extra, like no bother.
It's the only one that wouldn't need any special effects.
I'll get the photos up on the podcast, but for audio listeners, imagine a wee small ginger guy with a that looks a bit like Gimli, and that's what Finlay looks like right now, to be honest. Yeah, fair play. Third place, Mr. Eon McGregor, also donning the dwarf helmet. It's also not a bad look for him. He's pulling it off. He looks tall here in comparison to Finlay. He just looks like a wee small guy.
I think I don't know where that's taken, but there was a stage, and I've got a feeling Finlay might be standing off the stage, which makes him look even smaller.
Yeah. I'm gonna say because Eon is definitely not that much taller, but he looks. I don't know.
Finlay was just trying to get a character
comparison.
Yeah, fair play. Like you got to embrace it. Eon with the bringing in the big Gulliver. I have been convincing him for a while to get Gully back on the table, and I think with the FAQ that fixed the movement of Gulliver, she properly flies again. Probably a good time to do it. And he has obviously had his werewolves army kind of played around with them a bit during the year, so that's quite cool to see because it's not just.
I mean, the Balrog was stuck at movement 6 for years, but heaven forbid Gulliver kind of hack it for less than a year.
I mean, Gulliver had fly though, so it was just clearly a misprint. There's no way he meant it to be fly.
But they both have wings, so.
You trying to get us cancelled? People feel quite passionate about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of known for my hatred to Gulliver, so thrilled to see him back. Not at all, but it's a kind of cool army, to be fair, with the werewolves. They're loving him. In Shadows Angmar, I want to say the downside of that is because it's Shadows Angmar, I think I'm right in saying that the beasts cannot interact with objectives, unlike if you take them in Wolfpack Angmar where they can. So again, to get wins in like Destroy Supplies and stuff like that when you're not able to interact with the objectives is pretty good going from Ian there.
Yeah. They do have the stock unseen though, don't they? Like I think all of it. Not stock unseen. Is it? It is stock unseen. Basically, you can't shoot them if they're obscure.
Aye, Elven Cloaks.
Yeah. I can remember if it was that. But so does Gulliver have it, and I think people kind of underrate how much of a difference that is. That like it's massive. Like such a big model to be obscured at all, and now you can't shoot it. But a big thing with Gulliver is he did lose strike, isn't he? I think he used to have strike, he just or did he not? I'm sure he
No,
had.
he
Never had it
never had
before.
it. He has
No,
the
he never had
reds.
strike.
Right, okay. I didn't know that.
But again,
I think
strike's
it's
been-
more obvious. I think it's more obvious now with the fight value changes on a lot of heroes. Him being locked to 7 hurts him a bit more because even after things get shut down with magic, the fight value is not necessarily there.
Aye. I think
Did he-
the biggest.
No, he's still 7.
who was it went up to 8 but lost strike?
Oh,
Guahir.
Is it Guahir lost?
Guahir.
Guahir did lose strike.
Yeah,
Was that
Guahir,
7
isn't it?
before? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I think
No, he was
so.
always
Nah,
8.
but Guahir is
No,
8.
he was always 8.
He is always 8.
I think the
Anyone looking at the points on the list as well, if you notice he's 25 points under, that was part of the tournament pack that a warrior can be given a banner. So those 25 points would have just been a banner on a warrior.
Did he give it
Aye,
to
so
a
that-
warg?
no, I think that was not allowed. You were not allowed to
Ah.
give them to work. So it'll be that one Angmar Orc warrior that's
Yeah.
cutting about in his Shadows Angmar list.
Yeah, I think for the audio listeners, just to button there, Dave, so people can get their head around the list, because they'd be driving to work. It's a Shadows of Angmar list off Ian, and it's Gulliver leading it. And to be honest, at the 525 points, it's 11 werewolves, and then a smattering of spectres, wargs, and a guy who carries a banner. Goes up to 750, and it adds in a couple of barrow whites and just some more werewolves, taking them up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 werewolves. Pretty solid hitting. Fight 5. They get cav bonuses when they charge, I believe, don't they? They knock you down. If this wins fights, you're not going to be lasting very long. It will kill you very fast.
They knock you down, but they don't get the extra attack.
Aye, they don't get the charge bonus, but they do get the knockdown.
The 2 attacks and the charge, is that
Two
right?
attacks. Two attacks, just
Two
two
attacks
attacks
basic,
anyway,
yeah.
regardless of whether they charge
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not.
of course, sorry. Yep. But knock you down, you're getting 4 attacks. And are they strength 5 then? Are they 4 strikes at strength 5?
Yeah, they're strength
Strength 5,
5.
I
yeah.
believe.
They're also fight 5, so unless you're elves, you're crying.
Yeah, I do think this army hates elves.
It does. If you're playing this and you bump into like a Last Alliance or a Lothlorien, like, sad times.
Yeah.
It doesn't like Kazagard very much either, from experience of having played against it, although not against Ian.
Even the thrown weapons that you have are really sore for them.
Aye, because if you're in range for a thrown weapon, you're getting around the Stockholm scene.
100%.
Yeah, at least the Wolves' defence went up by 1. So it's like
Yeah,
the Kazakh
aye,
guards
they are.
aren't wounding them in 4s anymore.
Just, yeah, and aye,
Unless
just
there's
any
been
strength 2 shooting isn't going to hurt them as much as what it did either. But I think I guess one of the biggest downsides of Gulliver now is that, like, you've got the Barrow-wights, which are great, and obviously, I mean, the Barrow-wights are really, really good, but what made Gulliver, that was going to say exactly, what made Gulliver so strong in the last edition was comboing him with the Witch King, and the fact that the Witch King, like, Gulliver pretty much never went into a fight in the previous edition with a hero that wasn't transfixed or paralysed or something like that, whereas here, you're going to have to get those paralyses off. It's not as easy as you'd think.
I think also
And you need to be quite careful with Gulliver, I think.
the no longer having like sap will as a spell has such an impact, because
Yes.
like it's okay, you'd have the Witch King, but yeah, the Barrow-wights would just go into people that just had no will or whatever, and just it's sad times.
I think it's a bit much that they can paralyse on a 3-up now.
They're very
They
good.
can do, but I mean, I guess it's an exhaustion spell now as well, so they kind of, arguably, they've got one less will to use, because if they use that last will, the person just recovers, so...
I think it's a contextual thing. Like, it's like as you say, Dave, last edition, the thing that was best with him was the fact that you could bring him along with the Witch King, and if you could have the Witch King, him and Barry White's, then going to 3+ maybe, I think would maybe be a bit overkill. But putting the 3+, given you've not got access to those transfixes in this army anymore, I think kind of keeps it reasonable.
Yeah, I would agree.
Can you not take a Orc Shaman?
Possibly, it's
That's
not quite the same as a Witch King.
Yeah. They also don't have transfix in that list.
Oh, do they not?
No, they got Instill Fear, Drain Courage, and Wither.
Yeah.
But the only
It's that wee Wither meme that was going on at finale, but we'll probably touch
the
on that later.
only loss for Ian was to Finlay, and that was game 3, which is a scenario game 3. Trying to think off the top of my head what scenario we played. Game 3, it was it domination? It was, yes, domination, I believe.
I mean,
so he lost to Ian in domination.
that is a sore one. Like if the paralyzes don't go off, then
Aye.
like the werewolf's charging into like fight like a minimum of fights. What fight is Raddy on an eagle? Is he 7 on an eagle or is
Fight 7?
7, yeah.
So like like yeah, Gullivar's best chance, and even then it's a bit.
And all the eagles that are in are great eagles as well. There's no fledglings in that list either, so they're kind of just no real soft targets, and they can go in and just kill werewolves quite easily. So, aye.
Cool.
But yeah, another strong performance from Ian and Finlay as well to round off the year of Scottish events at least.
Yes. The implications for that will come on to in terms of top Scot, but very well done. Always good to see Fraser running another event. The Christmas event always seems like good reception. It's just a very hard time for me to get away from childhood stuff, to go away from, what was that, a Christmas party, kids running around mental. I know where I'd rather be. Put it that way. Moving on then, most sporting and best painted was over to best painted for Sam Robertson, who seems to be coming on pretty well in that category, and I believe also Stoney with the supporting as well as sporting.
Aye, Sam, I don't, unless we might be able to add pictures in the post edit if he does pass us across some pictures, but his army was a Burdersword army, which was really nice, and I know he's been working on it throughout the year. I think I played him when he was using it sort of midway through the year, and he's added a few things to it as the year's gone on. Really nice army. Again, if we can get pictures, we'll add them in the sort of edit. But congrats to Sam. I think it is actually his first best painted win, albeit he came runner up at Scouring, which was just a short, the week before this as well. So another sort of emerging hobbyist, and yeah, a really nice army. It's cool. I like the free hand. He's got, from memory, the free hand on his banner and stuff's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
good stuff, Sam. Maybe challenging for Alex next year with maybe quite a leap, but maybe
anything to keep Alex on his toes is probably a good thing.
Maybe Alex.
And then Andy, fair play to Andy for winning sporting, because he was running Mirkwood Raiders, which are not always the most interactive army to play against. We did get my most sporting vote. We had a really fun game of Sights of Power in the first round, which was really good, and I gave him my vote, and obviously he must have got a couple others as well.
Well, I got mine as well. Played him game 3 in domination, and it was a good laugh. That game was never going to result in a sporting vote, I'm afraid.
That allowed you to win priority every turn.
That's true. That was nice. Maybe exactly. I should have split it and give you
rolling a 1 and a 2 for priority. It was just like, you can have that again, Mark. Okay.
That was kind of you.
But aye, fun event. Nice way to. I was going to say, nice way to round off the good year of Scottish events that we've had, and just going to hopefully see it back again next year. I think Fraser is, if he's not applied for it already, he's certainly intending on doing it again next year, sort of similar time of year. So one to look out for.
Good stuff. I'll chuck all as many images as I can up here for people to have a look at, but if you can get to the event next year if he runs it, that's certainly received well. I think we'll move on then to what would have been the final event of the year then for most guys. If not, it was the final event of the year completely in the GBHL calendar. I'm assuming it is, but that's why it's called the finale, is that right?
Yeah,
I guess
it's you can't, no GBHL events can be sanctioned after it or on the same day off. So that weekend there can be events on the Saturday, but one day ones, but nothing can be on that Sunday. It is the very final event of the year, and it's where all the prizes for gaming, painting, sporting, all your regions and everything all conclude, and there's a big award ceremony, which we've got a link to. I believe it was all streamed on the Goms Gamers channel. They streamed the award ceremony, and we've got a link to that which we can share.
I wasn't just sure if it was the final 100-point event, but it is actually the final.
Yeah, it's full proper season closer. Yeah.
Cool. Just a bit of a recap on that one then. So the GBHL finale 25 was held in Northern Alliance Games in Newcastle. So we sent quite a lot of Scottish guys down to that. Just in Newcastle, it's not too far, sort of a couple hours drive, right?
Aye, 2-3 hours depending where you're from in Scotland, so quite easy to get to. We had 15 Scottish people in attendance, which I think is the most, apart from the year that the finale was in Stirling. It's the most that we've had at finale, and we had, I think we were the only region to have all our sort of podium contenders in attendance, and people that were chasing newcomer positions or painting and stuff like that, and some folk that just wanted to go down and enjoy the weekend as well. Like, not everybody's there necessarily to win stuff, but it's always a cool event to go to, and it has like a sort of, feels like a real Christmas party, like vibe to it and stuff. Like on the first day, everybody's encouraged to wear Christmas jumpers and things like that, and aye, just a nice time, and a lot of folk, certainly a lot of folk there that took that journey down.
Mm-hmm. It was a 5-game, 1,000-point event. Believe it was just one list you submitted then. It wasn't good or evil, but it was just any armies at 1,000 points. You went down, Dave. Don't think Mark or Liddell, you were there, is that right?
No,
I
I
wasn't.
wasn't.
No.
Just big David off Reedith. Actually, I was
Aye.
watching Dave on the stream, the Golems Gamers stream. I did watch it.
That was a good laugh.
Aye, it was cool. It was nice to be on the stream. Shame I couldn't pick up a dub, but Connor was a good guy to play against. The first time I'd really even met him, far less played against him, it's Connor Morris. I think he finished 4th in the GBHL in the end, and I think he'd done alright in the event. Can't remember exactly where he finished. Certainly got a win off of me in the first game.
Your random Admiral in a Men of the West army. Very random.
It was an interesting take on Men of the West, that, and I think at 1,000 points actually worked quite nicely. You got Aragon in there and Admiral. He did have Gua here, so he didn't.
But that's the weirdest part.
Gimli.
The weirdest part it was Admiral on foot.
But it did give him quite a reasonable contingent of Fight 5 troops.
Yeah,
which was nice. And it was good to see. I don't say too much about the game because people want to go and watch it, they can. But obviously, I've spoiled the result for you. I did not win.
For a viewer, it was very much Gua here having his way with some dwarves. It just seemed that way. It's like you just had no answer to Gua here, just jumping around
Gwahir was
everywhere.
the issue, yeah. And I think there's a bit there's definitely a moment in time where I can call a preemptive strike with Durin, and it's like, if you use Durin's last might here, and if I use Durin's last might, he probably doesn't barge into me. And Durin doesn't die.
Yeah,
but
that's right,
if I
yeah.
keep the last might, I don't think Gwahir had any might at that point, so I'm like, if he barges into me and just doesn't roll a 6, maybe I've got that might point to boost my 5 to make sure I get a 6. Like, as it is, he barges into me, he does roll a 6, Durin dies, army kind of collapses.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just lost. I then couldn't fail quite enough courage tests to win, because I did have the objectives at the time that happened. Sort of at the time I was in control of more of the objectives than he was, but couldn't quite die quick enough at that point in time. But no, I'd say good opponent and fun game, and it's cool to be on the stream as well. Like, it's like I'd kind of been quite close to the Golems Gamer stream at Ardacon, and I'd never managed to make it on, so it's nice to get the chance to play on it. I think there's quite a lot of folk watching along and stuff, so always cool to see that being done at events, and I know they've done it for quite a few of the big hundreds this year, so it's like an extra wee part. I know there's the award ceremonies on the Days 2 stream as well, so if people want to go back and watch that, it's kind of nice thing to have coverage of.
Drop the links in the video to below. I think what we'll do then is we'll take a step back here and just speak about the podiums then. So first place was Tom McConnell. And just while we're at it, in terms of lists, John Partridge came in with the Depths of Moria as well. So it was, at 1,000 points, Balrog, Watcher, guys, it's just the best army, isn't it? I don't think.
Aye. Yeah.
there's anything.
I don't think we have to spend too much time talking about it, because we've kind of spoken a lot about this, but I think it's good to acknowledge the guys that done well. Obviously, Tom came up for Scouring, which was nice to see him. And I believe this was his first GBHL 100 win, and I think definitely secured him a top 10 spot in the GBHL as well. So cool to see another kind of new person doing quite well there.
Yeah.
And obviously John's been, people will maybe know him for any heroics, or even just like the sheer amount of armies that he's usually like a really successful painter, but another good result for him at GBHL 100. And this probably is the best army in the game. If you look at the amount of wins it got at that event, it didn't take very many losses, put it that way.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
was listening.
their 13 out of 15.
Something like that. Yeah, they both
I think
went
it was
5-0.
better. I think it was
See?
better than that. Honestly, I think it may have
I
been
feel like
1
it
It
more.
was
13
it
out of
was
15.
13 out of 15, yeah, but both of them went 5-0. They were the only two players to go to get full 5 wins. The event had a little bit of a bonus point thing going on, where I think if you won by 7, you got an extra bonus TP, and then if you won by 14, you got 2 bonus TPs. So that makes, again, when you've got an army where you're very unlikely to give away the general kill points, you probably will give away a general wound point, and you're very unlikely to give away the breaking points. That just helps you get those extra few victory points to get the bigger win than what you would be already going to get if you were on something different.
I guess it doesn't have the banners, but I mean, the thing with the fact that it has so many ways of getting the banners off you, it's too many. And the thing with it is that the actual goblins are incredibly good as well. Like the Balrog's amazing, Watcher's amazing, but the goblins just having banners all over the shop is just too good, really. But very well done, I guess. I mean, anyone could have taken it, I guess.
Aye, I mean, anyone could take it, but it's not anyone that can win with it necessarily. I mean, so they are both good players who I think they were both in the top 10 going into it anyway, and then obviously solidified that by getting big results here. So it's you still got to use it right, even if you've taken the right tools for the job, you still got to get the best at them.
Are you going to say something, Little?
No.
Okay, let's move on then to Finlay Ivan at Stanford in 3rd place, which is a bit more of an interesting army to speak about. I did like to see this one. It is Battle of 5 Armies coming in 3rd. I guess before we get into the list, very well done. Leading on from an amazing year for him, to be honest. So to get into this position, I was sort of giving him a bit of jip about being rubbish at the end of the year, but you can't really get much better than this other than winning the finale. So fucking well done, really, there. Battle of 5 Armies, Philly. Right, okay, I'll get into a bit more detail rather than the heroes. It is Philly with 15 Iron Hills with a banner, which is interesting because obviously you don't get the banners on the elves, so it's like a good access to the banner in that sense. Legolas, not on a horse, but he's on foot with a cloak. You got 12 glaives, a shield, and 2 knights. Then the captain for the Lake Town, I'm assuming that's to get March in there. He has got Gua here, and he's also got Bjorn. So it's not really something. I mean, I've written a bunch of lists like this, but nobody's really done amazingly well with it. This is certainly something that's cool to see. I mean, it's not really been done elsewhere, is it?
So it was
No.
copying Farmer Fraser's event, and now he's copying Newcastle with the glaives.
He did message me and says
he was high on the glaives after using this list.
Yeah, I heard it here first, but I guess it's his own. Bjorn seems to be his guy because he runs the Bjornins, and now he's been running Bjorn with the Rari's Alliance. Yeah. And he's got Bjorn in the battle. So is Bjorn OP? Is that what we're trying to say?
Bjorn's pretty class.
I think at 1,000 points, a lot of what you see, for having been to a couple of 1,000-point events, the numbers don't go up as much as what you'd think. It ends up being that the actual armies are only a couple models bigger than an 800-point army a lot of the time. People just chuck in an extra big hero. So I mean, if you dropped Gwyer and Bjorn for that list, you're down at a 650-point list that's got 40 models, and it's a 650-point list with a solid enough mix of troops. And I think Philly was his general, who's just again a pretty survivable general that you can just keep out of combat and not have to really care too much about. I believe it was anyway. And then suddenly you add in these 2 big monsters to your 650-point list, and you're still the 20 models less than the depths lists that were cutting about. They were at 62 models, and that's at 42. But when you look at how much better the troops are, he's got Banner in there as well. And you've got to deal with the Balrog and the Watcher, obviously, and as it is, he didn't come up against that particular army, but you're not so badly outnumbered by much anything, really. And the stuff that does outnumber you really badly is things that you can probably chop through.
This doesn't hate the Balrog that much. I know that's an
Not as
outrageous
much as
thing
you'd
to
think,
say.
I don't think.
There's decent ways to deal with it. And one thing just to mention that I'd imagine Bjorn and Gwahir kind of run around together almost with the 3 combats of Bjorn, but they also get reroll 1s to wound if they're in a fight with like different factions. So I'm assuming that Gwahir and Bjorn, if they were fighting the Barrel, even getting the reroll 1s to wound, or even just when they're out killing heroes and sniping stuff, it's quite hard hitting, like, to say the least. And obviously the numbers kind of get inflated a bit with Lake Town guys, which generally speaking they don't do much, but it's kind of just like getting a really cheap march in there plus the models. It's a really good list. My interest in it is sort of, I've practiced this, and I don't know if you guys have ran much Battle of 5 armies, but I found that having the dwarfs being only the movement 5 being quite slow, it really was quite an issue with the elves. It sort of felt like, obviously you're generally speaking wanting the elves in behind, or do you want them in front? Because if you put them in front, then they're still only moving 5. I don't know, it's a bit strange at times. It feels sort of like you're slowing your army down a lot, but I mean, I'm completely wrong.
I think it's a consideration when you run the list. It does definitely impact you, but I think if you've got the march there, you've got the combats off Bjorn. Gwahir's fast. He's got 2 cav that are 10-inch move cav. He's not taking the goats that are only down at 8. You've got the tools to send important models to, if you're needing an individual model sent off somewhere in order to capture an objective or what have you. He's got the ability to do that. And with the marches, you can get the bulk of his troops where they need to be. So I think it's definitely it's something to consider when running the list. But I don't think it's not going to break it.
It's just strange if you're playing against shooting. Obviously, the glaives can be a bit of an issue because they are all T5, so you would put them in the back, which is fine because they are still spears, but then it means at the front, the iron house. I found it a bit clunky at times, but obviously I didn't really practice it very well, to be honest, but I think it's a cool list.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the missions, and I think there's certain ones like Convergence is one where, and I don't know how Finlay did set up in this way, but I imagine playing it would be in Convergence, which is one of the ones where you've got a corner set up and you have to split your army, is that Gwahir and Bjorn go in one corner and the rest of the army goes in another corner.
I remember talking about it with him, and I think that is what happened.
Yeah, and then Fog of War, which is another one as well, he's got like a bunch of heroes, like it's quite hard. He's got heroes that are quite easy to protect. He's got ways to kill enemy heroes. He's got a decent amount of troops. I think it fit the scenarios quite well, which is cool. The only army he lost to was Lothlorien. It was a Lothlorien army with 49 models, but again, I think I can see how that would be an issue because you got the double caster in there to shut down his monsters. You got Fight 5 all over the place, Welwyn Blades, which if you are using the elves as spear support for the dwarfs, is going to be a bit problematic. You got that Celeborn bubble in there as well, +1 to wound, and you are a bit outnumbered. Also, the Riving Vines can be a bit an issue to maybe slow down Bjorn or stuff like that. So it's I think that it's I can see why that would have been a tough match for him, and that was the one he did lose, and it was in Fog of War actually because it was game 2.
Was that against Luke Hilder or Jake Rawson?
Luke Hilder.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, can take army matchups in a bubble, really, not just a matchup. You're talking about somebody who's probably played more Lothlorien than anybody in the league, really. So it's very skilled with it as well. So that'd be quite a tough game, regardless of matchups.
That's exactly it. Yeah. But no, it's a great result for Finlay, and yeah, he'll be really pleased with it. I know he was really pleased with it, actually, because I think getting a big result at 100 was maybe the last, I don't want to say like the last thing to tick off. He did podium at Greenhall earlier in the year, but Greenhall was a bit a different 100 in the sense that...
How long ago does that seem now? Like that's, I mean, it was probably about a year ago now. But
one, it was close to a year ago, so it was right at the start of the edition, and 2, the only real sort of person who travelled up for it was Dave Farmer, who won the tournament. You take Dave Farmer out of the field as kind of like a strong Scottish 90. Whereas this one had like pretty much all of the top players at the GBHL there. A lot of them still gunning for like different end of year awards and stuff like that. So to get a podium at an event like that, I think is like a really good achievement and something he's probably pretty happy with. Deservedly so. So a nice way to cap off the year for him.
Good stuff.
And nice to see Scottish representation on the podiums as well, because it's not often that we. Again, we don't go to a lot of hundreds. Like it's not like there's that many of us traveling down to England and stuff like that regularly. So when we do get the chance to show it off, having somebody make the podiums is a real positive. So it's good.
26. We need to win one of these 100-point events. That's my goal for us as a nation, which is sad, but we need to. The skill was there, the players are there. It's just need to get practicing, I think, and we'll be grand. Also, might help if Dave Farmer decides he wants to take a year off now that he's won so many events.
Or just move to Scotland. That'd be helpful.
Oh, that'd be handy. Yeah, I think we'd get quite a lot of GBHL 100 wins in Scotland if Dave Farmer did move up to Scotland.
Was
I think
claimed
there'd be something
as
said about that.
Listen, it works for Scott McTominay. We can make it work for Dave Farmer.
That's exactly it. But we did have a couple of other award winners at the finale, like picking up awards for the event itself. With like Andy Stone was able to win the Rise of Gandalf award, which is did like a Rise of Gandalf Fall of Saruman thing, which was like the person who either gained or lost the most positions in the rankings between day 1 and day 2. So Andy finished 7th in the end. I think it was just when we mentioned Luke Hilder there. I believe he actually beat Luke Hilder in the last game, and he went 4-1, which was he beat Jake Rawson and Luke Hilder, came 4 and 5. So he had a fantastic day 2 after like a sort of more middling day 1, I guess. He went 2-1 day 1, and then won both games day 2 to finish 7th, which again another really good result to finish top 10 at that event. Again, Andy podiumed at the Bathgate one, Battle of Clyde War. He'd podiumed at that early in the year, so he got a big result. But then a second big result at 100 is another good way to end the year for him, especially when it mattered for points. So he won that. And we had Alex winning Best Theme and also third in Best Painted Army was Angmar, which is all sort of Christmas themed. Again, if you've got pictures there, Casper, you can chuck them up so people can see them. But I mean, we spoke a lot about Alex and his painting, but this is another super cool army, and he's always like game for doing wee touches to just like theme his armies or his boards around the theme of the art, like the event, and the fact that it's like a sort of end of year kind of Christmas time, and that he's got wee Christmas gifts and like a dead reindeer on the board and all sorts of cool stuff going on.
Is the Santa being Morgul bladed underneath the Witch King?
I believe he has, aye.
Festive spirit right there.
Yeah. Aye.
Actually,
and the
would
fact that he
argue
only came, I was going to say only came third, but like, I mean, it's a great achievement to come third because there's actually loads of armies on display that were really, really nice. But the fact that he did come third, that shows like some of the sort of overall standard of hobbying at that event. I think it was Jasmine Tetley that won, and I think she posted up some of her. We don't have the pictures here, but I think she did post pictures of her army. It was one of the sort of newer Rohan armies, with kind of nice sort of pinky purple colour scheme. And yeah, it was a really nice army as well. I think she posted it if people do want to go and have a look. I think Harry Parker made a post with all the armies that were at the event that entered the painting competitions, because there were some nice ones. But
I think
another good result for Alex.
Different Rohan names.
yeah.
Army of Edoras, I think it is.
Yes, I believe so. I believe that's the one, yeah. But and he got best theme as well, which I think is well deserved. That's like the extra wee kind of Christmassy things definitely helped with that.
How has this conversation come up over Christmas? I'm willing to be told I'm wrong, but I think that Lord of the Rings is bordering on a Christmas film for me. I know it's not, like, I realise that it isn't, but do you know what I mean? Something about it for me is just sort of, it obviously did not get released always sort of near Christmas, it felt like. Or am I just completely talking shite?
It was December, yeah. No, it was that, and certainly the first couple of Harry Potter films, I think they came out at the same time, which was sort of just tail end of December 2001, I want to say.
Yeah,
I feel like we
Harry
went on
Potter,
a school trip to
they
see.
often have.
I'm trying to think where they would have been at Christmas time.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they were in
terms of the journey.
They were at Weathertop in October.
Fucking
So
hell.
they would have been leaving Rivendell round about Christmas time.
I think they do. I think they do leave Rivendell around about Christmas. I sort of get it. There's elves and stuff. I mean, they're not quite
don't-
Santa's elves, but
I don't at all. I was just wondering. I was just wondering where they would be. I am not shipping this one little bit.
there's a few. I mean, there's more than 5 gold rings when you factor in all the elves and the dwarf and human ones. But I can see it. I mean, it's nice to watch
Yeah.
it any time of year.
No,
How many
shut up.
partridges in a pear tree was there?
There was a John Partridge in a pear tree here on the podium.
God. The Die Hard. That's a Christmas movie. Lord of the
No,
Rings. No.
we're not going down that. I'd admit it's not, but it always, something about it always sort of feels, I don't know. I guess it's just like you put on big long films and sit around and do nothing but eat shit. And Lord of the Rings is good for that.
Pass
And
it
if
up
you
to
look
this
at
event,
and get the snow.
this event does feel very Christmassy, and this does feel like a sort of nice way to round off the year. Just kind of, it's like a social thing as well. Like I've went to the finale the last 3 or 4 years, and it's like a nice thing to just kind of catch up with everybody before Christmas. I see a lot of people wearing like festive jumpers, and there's like nice fun prizes like that, like best Christmas jumper and stuff was an extra prize. It was Jamie Wiggins was actually, I don't know if we mentioned that, but Jamie Wiggins was the TO for the event. It's the finale's ran by the GBHL committee, and it's all sort of organised. It's sourced by someone that's local to the venue. So I think it was Jake Robson that got put the committee in touch with Northern Alliance Games, which was a really cool venue as well. Also, mention that I think they will be hosting. Yeah, if you live in that sort of North England area, like get yourself to an event there because it was cool. The actual store's quite nice, but then they also had like a gym, which was the streaming room is done in the gym, so that like gave room for loads and loads of tables. But I think the actual store itself probably does about 40.
definitely
over a
a
couple
fair few
couple of floors.
a fair few jokes made about you all being in the gym for the first time. in the
Aye,
chat.
yeah, well, some of us for the first time, not everybody, but aye. But that was good. And there's like, they done a pub quiz on Saturday night, which was good fun. I think we done all right as a team. I think there was the winning team was 43, and I think we finished on 41, all because Ian didn't know the difference between the Gaffer, Gamgee, and Palin took. Like, I'm gonna call him out on that in the podcast.
Didn't even know myself.
I know, but that was good fun. It's in a brewery as well, so like nice selection of drinks and pizzas and stuff. Just yeah,
Well,
good fun.
I know obviously the coverage was done by Gollum's Gamers, so we'll put the links in the chat for that. I know that Mr. Harry Parkhill, I've listened to his Entmoot podcast, does a good coverage as well of his experiences at the finale. So go and check him out as well. Anyone else worth shouting out? Can you? I mean, that's the two that come to mind.
I think those are probably the main ones. Yeah, Harry did like a full rundown of his own experience, and then I think he's had a more recent episode with Dave Farmer, who's maybe talking about how the league went and
Yeah.
maybe a bit about the army
He's
he
talking
ran.
about how Dave Farmer's stealing Dobie's Spider King's brood list. I've had Dobie on the phone to me 4 or 5 times, absolutely loving it. So
I actually did play against Dave. I got the chance to play against him for the third time this year, and I was hoping to end the year with a winning record against Dave, but sadly didn't go my way. So he beat me. I definitely one of those games where I clutched defeat from the jaws of victory. I shot his Beastmaster off his Mumak in like the second turn and felt like I was in a great position, and then it just got away from me and lead for the front. I think I overcommitted a little bit with my Dwarf King, and that when it died, that meant I didn't quite have enough heroes to claim the free objectives, and he was able to sneak away with a couple of his heroes onto them, and the bloody Mumak, even though I killed the Beastmaster turn 2, the Mumak actually survived the entire game. Just my troops bounced off it. They did hardly any wounds to it. And if I'd killed it, I could definitely win the game, but didn't manage to quite. So it's a bit gutted to lose that because I thought it was in a super strong position, but it just shows how good the guy is, and like the fact he's able to win from really bad position and still pull out the win. I think he finished 4th in the end. I did feel a bit hard done by that. I played Conor Morris in the first game and then lost that, and then played Dave Farmer in game 3.
what was it you said to me at Scouting? He's got to keep winning. And I was raging about
That's
my
it.
draws as
I
well.
did not keep winning, unfortunately for me, which is quite important actually, as we'll see, because I guess we're going to go on to talk about the end of the year and some of the prizes that were given out. So going into the finale, there was quite a few things up for grabs, one of which was the region, the Scotland, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland region. And Finlay was on top of the region going into the finale, but he could be caught by Ian, by myself, by Andy, and then there was Ian in second who could be caught by me and Andy, and then I was going into it in third, and I could have been caught by Andy and also by Danny Walker as well. Again, we all sort of needed varying results to catch the people above us. I think I needed to finish top 4 to jump ahead of Ian and Finlay, and obviously have them not improve, which I wasn't able to do. I finished 18th in the end out of the 66 people, which is not bad, to be honest. Like it's an alright performance, but nothing that added to my score. But yeah, we can see, I think I've got the final stands there, and we can see that Andy Stone was able to pick me last event. That 7th place finish for him was able to jump him up to 3rd place in the region. So, and then obviously Ian hung on to 2nd place. Again, I think I had a pretty similar event to myself, where done all right, but didn't really improve on anything. And then Finlay just extended his lead at the top. And in the end, it looked a bit less close than maybe it was seeming like it was going to be at one point in time, by him getting that big result at the finale. But yeah, well done to the 3 guys for reaching the podium. I had a little bit gutted for myself. Not, I don't say gutted, but it's slightly disappointing to obviously you go to the last event and then you drop off the podium. But I was really happy for Andy. I think he deserves it over the year. I think largely his results have probably been better than mine, to be honest. And I think I benefited a little bit from that 100 over in Bangor. That was what put me back up to 3rd, sorry, coming 2nd at that event. And I think that if somebody goes and needs a big result at the finale and they get it, then you can't argue that at all. So well done to the 3 of them for.
Your army didn't really come out till halfway through the edition, really, did it?
Yeah, I didn't pick up too many points early doors either. But no, it was good, and it's hard fought. And I think we've got the scores there in terms of the points, because there's a few people off the podium, like yourself, Liddell. You weren't that far away, really. Kind of one tournament result away from being able to get a podium. Stuart Collette there, Danny Walker as well, and both the Walkers really are Alex a bit lower down, but they came in really halfway through the season and got a bunch of good results. So there's a few people that were maybe just a tournament away from finding that podium, and I think it gives people stuff to aim for the next year, doesn't it? And you see obviously what Ian and Finlay have done this year, but they both off the back of that, they'll both get a spot in the GBHL Masters next year, which is really cool. Normally there's only one spot for the region, but because Finlay finished top 10 in the GBHL, he gets a spot in the Masters through that, so that gives us a 2nd regional spot, which Ian's able to get. So aye. So yeah, no, the 3 of them got their podium awards. So now we were the only region. I was happy with that. I was quite pleased to see that we were the only region. Well, I wasn't pleased to see that the other regions weren't, but I was pleased to see that we did have all 3 of our podium people there getting their awards at the award ceremony. Even the Northern England region was missing some of the podium winners, but we definitely showed it.
So what are these Artisan and Middle Earth awards? What are they given out as part of the GBHL then?
Yeah, so the GBHL, every best painted award that is awarded throughout the year, there's a painting rankings, and Alex won 10 best painted this year, which put him well ahead at the top of Artisan and Middle Earth. And again, I know that was a real big goal for him, because last year he came 2nd. I want to say 7 best painted, and I think he was tied maybe with John Partridge, and it went down to their gaming score as a tiebreaker, and he came 2nd, and he was really keen to win it this year, and he'd be kind of smashed the record for most in a year with 10 best army wins. So you got the Artisan and Middle Earth Awards.
Class.
And again, if we have a look, I kind of mentioned that a bunch of times, but Off Sword and Paint is Alex's painting page, and he posted a bunch of stuff that he's painted throughout the year, and also the awards and that they'd got in terms of the prizes that he got for it. He done a lot of posts about that on his page, so really well done to Alex.
Can you get commissions off Alex or not?
He does do some commissions, yeah.
He did some Rohan for me just a month or 2 ago.
Cool. Worth having a look there.
I get to say that you've had models painted for you by the person who's won the prize for being the best painter in the entire the GBHL.
Exactly. I'm glad I did it before he won that, because I'm sure his prices have gone up.
What about this then? The friend of Middle Earth that Mark O'Brien won then, was this for Sporting?
Same sort of thing, yeah, but it's for sporting. So again,
Really?
Mark won. This is 2 years in a row that Mark's won that. Is the most sporting player of the year, and he got 3 most sporting awards. He was tied with, there's 5 people in the end on most sporting, and again that uses your gaming score as your tiebreaker. But Mark had the best gaming score out of the people on 3. And to go back to back with that again, that says a lot about the sort of opponent, obviously, in that like the Mark, as he also gets a lot of most sporting votes for people, and yeah, to do that 2 years in a row is some achievement. Like,
what's really cool about that is, I mean, I've played Mark once and I spoke very highly of him. And what I mean is, like, it's very hard to get sporting awards once he's a good player, like a really fucking good player. So, and he also plays to win. Do you know what I mean? He's not just giving you all. He goes like, you do what you want and you get most sport, and he's playing to win, playing good. So that's a really good, you know, that's how anyone should be looking to play. You know, playing good and still getting sport, and that's pretty impressive to say
that's
the
it.
least.
Definitely. I mean, Andy Stone finished, I think, 7th in the Friend of Mid-Left rankings, which is still a great showing. And he will also, both him and Mark and Alex as well, there is a Hobby Masters, which was sort of half introduced this year in the sense that the painting and sporting people were invited to the Masters, but it was a kind of combined event where you had like a doubles thing and then 2 smaller singles tournaments day 2, whereas this year they're going to be 2 2-day tournaments that are run alongside each other in Warhammer World. And the Hobby Masters is your top 8 painters and your top 8 sporting people. And I think it's going to be formatted along the lines of like a Throne Skulls type thing, where there's points for sporting, points for painting, points for gaming. And Mark, Andy, and Alex will all get the chance to play in that, while Ian and Finlay get to play in the Gaming Masters, which is your sort of top 16 players in the GBHL this year. So again, 5 Scottish people getting to partake in that is really cool. I think we had 5 this year as well, but like to get 5 out of the 32 there is cool, and a nice sort of range of ways of getting in there, like, you know, through painting, through sporting, through gaming. Like, it's just a nice broad spectrum of hobbying.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's sort of good to reward, you know, not just power gaming, having other sort of categories as well and rewarding them. It's definitely a good way forward. I guess moving on then to now, I don't want to glaze over this because we should go into a bit more depth about this, but there was another award given out to our very own David Reed and our very own Chris Murfitt for Hero of Middle Earth. Now, don't want to spoil it by underplaying it, but do you want to, what was this given out for then? It was just for being a boss, pretty much.
Yeah, aye. Well, that's a good way to put it. But no, so the Hero Middle Earth is kind of like a lifetime achievement award. So there's, and the GBHL reached its 10th anniversary in 2024. So they've been giving out the last 3 seasons. So obviously a really small group of people who have those. So like, I was absolutely delighted to win it. Yeah, like really sort of honour, to be honest, to get that recognition. And I guess for us, we were given like obviously a lot of the work for scouring, a lot of the. I mean, we've spoken a bit before about the early days of Scottish scene. I think we intend to maybe do like a sort of maybe mini episode or something covering this in a bit more detail, so I'll not go too much into about the sort of background, I guess, as to why I think we were recognised. But yeah, it's a GBHL committee. They pick a couple of people each year to hand these out to, and last year Damien O'Byrne and Tom Harrison got it. Michelage, who set up the league, got it in 2024. So as I say, it's kind of just like a recognition award, but really, really nice. I really appreciate that a lot. I appreciate obviously the committee for putting us forward for it, and for other people that have helped us, because like you didn't just win these things. Like if we're getting it because they're helping to build up the Scottish scene and stuff, like you didn't get that without the scene being in the place it is, and a lot of the people who've also put a hell of a lot of work into building things up. But to get a nice trophy and stuff at the end of it is really cool. Yeah, so. We'll probably speak about it more another time, but again, yeah, as I said, just super pleased to get that, and sort of pride
We'll
of place
try and
thing.
try and get Chris on. We'll have a proper chat about it, but very well deserved, and good to be recognised always for the work you do. But yeah, we'll definitely go a bit more detail about that. I think it'd be interesting to see or pick your brains about all things hobby, GBHL, and you know.
Aye. Yeah, no, it'd be good. It'd be nice to get the chance to talk about it more in a bit more depth. But as I say,
Watch this. Watch
big
the space.
thing to win.
Definitely, yeah. Moving on then to well, we can kind of speak about the just missed and narrowly out in the best newcomers for Danny and Alex Walker, which are 4th and 6th place. Obviously, going into finale, I'd imagine if either of them kind of podiumed on there, they'd have been extremely close. So it's certainly
Yeah,
something
I mean, I
like
think going in they were maybe like 5th and 6th, and then Danny like moved up slightly to 4th. But they both had a real chance podiuming, but they would had to go and like perform, obviously do really well at the finale, and the fact that they both went down to give it a go is like that's a cool thing, you know. Like we didn't always, things didn't always pay off, but like if you go down and get a good try, like that, you can't really ask for much more than that, to be honest. And I don't think we've ever had a Scottish player podium in newcomer. So this is the closest that anyone's ever been to doing it, and they kind of largely done it off really half a season. So as I say, well, fair play to the guys for trying to do it. And
kick on to next year, then, yeah.
It'd be a good thing to kick on to. I'm sure it'll kick them on to 2026, and I dare say we'll know. I've seen the last of them on podcast because I'm sure they'll probably pick up some podiums between them.
Team standings moving on then. Now, this is something that is going to be massively changing going into next year with teams, but I don't think we need to go into it too much just now. Kind of not the best, really, for us. I mean, I guess 6 for Bucky's Berserker, 7 for Broham. I think that's going to change a lot next year, though. A bit more refined teams, I think, coming from Scotland. It's incredibly hard for us to compete because of just the access to 100-point events. And to be honest, we don't perform well enough at them yet to get majorly high. But I think next year going into it, we should be looking to try and get sort of, at best case scenario, 3rd would be cool, but sort of 4th or 5th, we should be aiming for that. But it's not bad. I don't think it'd be massively... Well, it's good at the start of the year. I think there was quite a lot of competition between the Buckies and us, but kind of died out towards the end of the year. And I think the changes to the team sort of rankings coming in next season will definitely help that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rankings next year, teams rankings is going to change a little bit more in that there's going to be leagues. And I believe that finishing 6th and 7th will be enough to see both of these teams take their spot in the top league. The exact divide on leagues hasn't been announced yet, but I believe that 6th and 7th will be good enough for both of them to be in the top league. But the cool thing about the leagues is that like there are other teams, like we've mentioned Buckies and Brohiram there in 6th and 7th, which I think is a pretty good showing because it's out of about 50 teams. But we do have other teams, like there's like the Wooden Spooners, there's the Heroic Challengers, there's
Paints on a 4-up, are they not one?
Paints the 4-up, yeah, and I think 2 Albas as well is another one. So there are a few, and there has been other teams as well that have, the Candish Kelpies, and there's been teams that have existed and then kind of maybe no ran for a year and stuff. But I think having 2 extra divisions is going to give some of these other teams that aren't getting so much a mention something to play for, because there's going to be prizes for them, and like you can get promotion, relegation, and that. So it should make it a bit more exciting. And it's no case of just like, oh well, we finished 6th and 7th, but it's like, oh, we've like retained our spot in the top league, even if you didn't manage to win it, and that sort of stuff. So I think that will give a bit more next year. But third time for the Buckies finishing as the top team in Scotland.
I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, it's a bit.
So I guess I know, well played.
There's not even a Buckies left. I
think there still is, but it might be a struggle for them to. I think with some of the new recruits, I won't touch too much on it, but I think top team in Scotland 3 years in a row is something to be said for. So it's well played to the guys in the Buckies team, including our own Mr. Liddell there, who contributed some of those hard-earned points to keep them in 6th place.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll obviously we're going to post the full rankings up on we'll put it in the linked descriptions for the video. We can post them on the page as well, but more or less, I mean, there's so much sort of to analyse, so many great results for all sort of Scottish players really. There's a lot of newcomers, good painting, good finishing with one in the region as well. So, but we'll not do it to death. There's loads of amazing things to be seen here, and we'll post them all up. I think if we can focus on maybe speaking of Liddell, is maybe go on to a bit of the top Scot, because that obviously came to an end as well. But very well done to everyone on the GBHL standings in our great year. Dave just missing out will be a kick in the stones, but I'm sure next year we'll be back to fight for that again.
Aye, no, as always, we'll get another go. But no, it's all good. As I say, I think we had 18 Scottish players in the top 100, which punches well above our weight in terms of the percentage of Scottish players that we have in the GBHL. To get 18% in the top 100 is really cool. And again, just another shout to Finlay to get top 10, because it's been a long time. There's only ever been 4 Scottish players, including Finlay, who've ever finished in the top 10 over the course of the season. And it's been a little while since we've had a Scottish player in the top 10, so that's a real big achievement. And amongst all the other, a lot of other really big achievements there from various people. So yeah, well done to all involved.
Definitely.
And I guess obviously well done to the people that won the GBHL themselves, and we'll just run you down the podium before we move on. But Dave Farmer, of course, was first, and then Jakob Kropmal in second, and Stephen Denby in third. So they were the top 3 players for the UK for the year. And I'm sure they'll be fighting for it again next year, but whether we'll see any Scottish people finishing even further up than Finlay's 10th place, I guess we'll see how 2026 goes.
Yeah, we need to start winning them, really. Finlay's more than capable. Ian's more yourself. Just need to make that next wee step, and I'm sure we can keep getting better, I guess. Let's move on. Top Scot 2025. We've got Mr. Top Scot in the call, Mr. Bruce Wayne Liddell, Batman, Posty. You got
good name there, like
you got the Posty.
I'll put it on my next letter.
I
bet you didn't get many tips at Christmas, Liddell.
He gave me one of his tips, to be fair.
I tried to give my Posty a tip, and then I didn't know his name, so I actually still have his cards sitting in my hall for when I see him next.
No, he's called Alan.
Is he? Aye.
Legit. No, legit, he is. He's like Alan, one of like 8 or something in the office.
That bald guy?
Aye.
See, actually, the problem is that doesn't narrow it down, because my last guy was a bald guy, and I've got a new bald guy.
He's
so
retired.
I don't know. Did
he was actually Mark.
All right. He was
no Urmark. No Urmark. No.
No,
strong names in the Posty community there, like.
Anyway, moving on. Top Scot 2025. Ironically, it's more or less the same finishing. Yeah, it's basically
a little bit of difference.
I'll run through the sort of highlights, then Liddell, I'll let you kind of
correct you,
sort of go on. Yeah. Well, of course, it was Finlay ended up winning with an incredible score of 37. Really, it only could have been improved, I believe, with better scores at 100-point events, right? To get the 10s.
39.
Was it? So it's pretty good, that 37.
Not now, but it was.
Ian McGregor in second with 35, Stuart Collette with 32, and then Stoney with 32. David Reid, and I think we'll stop after Dave because there's no one to go in the next player, but David Reid with 31. And then that was it. It just finished there, didn't it?
I was last. But
yeah, Liddell, Stoff, yeah. I'll put the full postings up on the podcast for everyone to see, and the page as well, but
you like that I deliberately cut it at 20, Casper, so we can include you as well.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I could have cut it at 19.
That is embarrassing.
That's a nice round number as well.
Get you in.
Hey, I got a 10. I got a 10.
I had a 10. There was only our 4 tournaments, to be fair.
Yeah, and I'm looking
there's
at
only
3 players.
There's only 3 people with a 10, and you are one of them.
Yeah.
Just also happen to be in 20th.
That was just sort of me ramping up for this season, don't worry.
You had something to prove.
Yeah, I did. Non-believers. Anyway, it's not about me.
After that day tournament, I said the dust was all shaken off, and then just got fucking trampled for the next 3 months.
I'm feeling
you're eating Casper's dust.
It was bad.
Nothing about me. This is not about me. It's Top Scot, Finlay, and Stuart done very well. Stuart actually had an amazing scouting performance as well, so that's very.
Stuart never won a single tournament, but yeah.
That's actually kind of a cool thing, though. I mean, it shows consistency, and I'm assuming I'm going to guess that he's probably the first person to podium Top Scot without winning an event, but that's just like a lot of second and third place finishes and like being really consistent throughout the year, and that shows that
I'd assume
you
so.
can.
I
you
can
can
only think
achieve
of-
these things without actually needing to win something.
I only think of one time something similar's happened. Didn't Jamie Moore manage to come second or something in the region with it winning an event?
Aye, yeah. In the region, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie did come second in the region in 2023, I think. Yeah, 2023.
Oh, hang
yeah, I
on.
think it was.
Wait, was that no the year that he won that doubles tournament with Fraser?
Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
Aye, but that also wasn't in the region. That event wasn't in the region. That was I don't think that counted for the region, so
They
that's
still won an
probably still
event.
true.
He still won an event.
Aye, yeah, fair enough. Fair. But yeah, no, it just shows, as I say, for Stuart, like a bit of consistency and just chip away at these things with decent performances, and you never know where you might end up in the rankings.
Yeah, it was a strange one because it couldn't go to Fraser's event, and there was so many people that were pretty much fighting for third spot. Like I
But
needed,
me and Andy
I needed
playing each
top
other in the
four.
first game.
Yourself, Dave, needed to podium. Andy, I think he had to podium.
No, I think
No, he was in the same boat as me.
fourth would have been enough.
He needed top four was
Yeah.
for him. Mark had to win it, but I put a stop to that straight away. Stoff, I think, had to win it as well.
Or did you just play each other? Was it game one you just played each other then?
Yeah.
That worked out alright for Stuart in a way, though. Like, you played each other game one, me and Andy played each other game one, because that's already two of the contenders kind of getting knocked out
Only
almost
for
right
Mark,
away.
because like I said, Andy could have still came back and been
He could have still came fourth
Fourth.
even after a loss.
maybe fifth.
Still helpful for him that we play each other game one, though.
Yeah, because if we didn't, like, all four of us could have won.
Yeah.
Mark was the only one that needed to win though, so the rest of us could have survived off a loss.
But no, it's nice to see that at the last event there was still loads to play for. That's cool.
Yeah,
It's kind of exactly
The
what
same
you
as it
want,
was
isn't it?
last year as well, which was quite cool. The last event ended up being
Yeah.
quite important. And so to have that consistently happen just shows these Christmas events, get yourself to them.
the same was said for Sporting as well. The fact that Andy Stone won most Sporting at the finale meant he won Top Scot. It
But
was
yeah,
Aye, so
yeah,
Oh, aye, yeah.
that's
pretty
something
much
that
Jamie Moore was put in the position after winning Scouring. He was sitting first, and then obviously Andy winning it because he was higher up in Top Scot meant Andy won and Jamie came second. But that's something
what-
that I'm happy for, the fact that I'm able to buy a second place trophy for best painted and most Sporting. But
I
it's,
just
by
want
the skin of my
to
teeth.
mention. It's worth mentioning, little that to you guys it's common sense, but to maybe some of our listeners, the finale is an event in Newcastle, but I don't know if we said earlier. I don't think we did, but it does count
No.
towards all regions. So yeah. So I didn't actually know that straight away until
Yeah, the
last
finale
year.
does count to the regions for the GBHL region, whereas like the Christmas in Middle Earth that Fraser was running is kind of like the Top Scot finale in the sense that it's when all the most of these pictures here that were taken for the people who were in attendance, the pictures were taken at the Christmas in Middle Earth event. Fraser's one that we spoke about. That's the last event in Scotland, so it's the last event for Top Scot.
Yeah, Scottish finale in a sense.
Actually, just while you mentioned that, let's go into Sporting then. So Stoney took most Sporting when the runner-up was Jamie Moore. Well, we're there, I guess, best theme, we'll go into that as well. So and stats Saturday.
Best theme kept that going for the rest of the year. That was Andrew Kerr.
He cares coming up with some clutch wins, I think, with these things. He's got the
Yeah,
Aye.
well, you've obviously missed out top painter as well, so
I didn't miss out.
Aye.
Blame that on Dave. And I was going to go back
that
up.
was kind of me. I mentioned most Sporting.
That was your fault.
I mentioned most Sporting because I think
That
we were
was, I
talking
guess,
about
that
Andy Stone.
was that was the one award that probably wasn't up for grabs going into the last event, just because of the sheer amount of painting awards that Alex had won.
I'm
But I
trying.
think the runner-up spot might have been
That's what I
still
was
up
trying
for
to think
grabs.
there. Of the players that were there, Andrew Kerr was
Me?
pretty high
I
up.
could have won it.
True,
I could have
actually,
won it.
I
I
think
could
you
have
might have
came
been the
runner
only
up.
person that was above him with a painting win. I don't think anyone else that had two painting wins.
Andrew Kerr's done really well there. I mean, obviously Alex has done amazing,
Yeah.
but Alex come runner-up in the painting and to get best theme as well. And I think
I mean, the amount of
getting
events
best
that
theme is
Alex
cool
goes
because
to, as a case of, right, well, it's the real race is for second place.
I think sometimes best theme, it's not always painting doesn't always factor into best theme, but I think that it's another way to express yourself in the hobby, and that if you bring a cool kind of themed army, and obviously you're not going to win it taking the same army at every event, so it does show that you've taken a few different armies throughout the year as well, which Andrew does. So he's done well with that. And then the other award that he'd won, which if we go back down for it, is Stat Saturday, isn't it?
Yep.
It is. I know you've strategically brushed over something there, Dave, but we'll continue with Stat Saturdays for now. Andrew Kerr won Stat Saturdays with a new record of, 12, 10, 11.
12? That's a lot. That's quite a percentage of the year
That's
for the
pretty
same
good.
person to get it right.
I now need to check. I don't think it was 12. I always say it's 11, but he definitely.
Either way, even if
if it's a lot, that's still like 20%.
if you're getting the double
That's wild.
figures,
He definitely got double digits.
20% of the
Definitely.
year.
Oh no, he did get 12.
Aye,
Mad.
well played.
I think it's because he won it when he hit 11, but then he
Right,
managed to snag the last Saturday
man,
of the year and just went,
man knows
nah,
his stats.
I'm not even giving it to someone else. I'm taking this and going to 12.
Okay.
Second place
Start Saturdays. Yeah.
Michael Whiting. So that is now started for this year as well. So
Michael Whiton.
another 51
And that's just on
weeks to
the
go.
Scottish Mid-Left Players page for people that do want to get involved in it. Just keep an eye on the Scottish Mid-Left Players page for Blood. Will put up a wee post at some point on a Saturday, usually Saturday afternoon, asking you what a stat line is. And I believe you've changed it slightly this year, and that one of the stats has got, well, certainly for the first one of the stats has got a wee missing.
Yeah,
mystery
that
stat
was
going
actually
in there.
Casper's idea. He mentioned it, and I was like, taking it. I'm running with that because a lot of the stats are just very easy. They're a bit of a
Yeah.
giveaway. And there's also other
Surely
ones
you-
that you just can't do. Like you couldn't usually do Boromir. Because as soon as you see Might
Aye,
6,
6 might. Aye.
he's either Goat Fate or he's no. You know exactly which one it is. There's no contest. But
But you're also
I
getting to the
tried.
point that you've gone through a lot of the stat lines, and if you're able to cover up stuff, you can potentially do
Yeah.
repeats with
Yeah,
things
well,
covered
I
up.
tried to get away with that on the Saturday there because it was the Dragon Emperor, but I covered up the Might, hoping that someone would jump in with Boromir. But of course, the person to get it straight away is a Dragon Emperor player, so he knew. And I was like, always going to try and trip somebody up.
Well, the Dragon Emperor went up in fight if they do not this edition. He's up to fight 7.
Yeah, they're both fight 7. But Dragon
Yeah,
Emperor's
yeah.
defense 7 basic, whereas in Boromir's 6. So that was another giveaway. I was just hoping that me scrubbing out the Might was the wee red herring.
Red herring. What about Trivia Tuesday then?
Trivia Tuesdays, that went to the Scottish finale, TO, Fraser Gillespie. And then the runner-up was our very own David Reed.
Hey.
Look at you.
He managed to hang on to the end.
Was it close?
It was 9
There's
to
only a couple,
Fraser
I
and
think.
7 to David, I believe. Should have had these numbers. Didn't think it was going to come up.
Was there any minuses applied to them?
Nah,
No, yes, yeah.
not last year. No, it was 10 to Fraser. He reached the double digits, and 7 to David. But brushing over, you're trying to take away Mark's win here. He's not won much in the past couple of weeks.
didn't see Mark.
I barely won any games, to be fair. Hardly anything
I
else.
don't know.
I don't see Mark. What's Mark done?
Mark,
No, don't.
See it dawn on you.
Mark managed to win top initial or top M of the year,
Yes!
and
Hey, at least you got yours. Hey.
Fucking hell.
you'll get there. You'll get there.
Talk about a
I'm sure it will.
participation trophy. My God.
He managed to get 4 scores. He was up against someone else with the same initial that also got 4 scores. He actually
done,
done
Matt.
something for it. You
Well
weren't
done,
even.
Was it just
I'm trying to think. Go and put that top 20 back up, Dave. What one was Mr. Casper here?
I guess
The-
Casper would be an A, wouldn't he, rather than a...
Oh,
Well, that's
obviously.
it. Aye.
I see that. Alex is above him. I'm above him. Andy Stone's above him.
Andrew Kerr,
Alex
Alex
Burdas,
Walker.
Andrew Kerr. Yep, aye. No wonder he
Casper's
doesn't like top
bottom.
initial.
Cannot
Pick
talk
Bottom
about.
A.
But
Can't
in all
really say
fairness,
that backlist
he was top A last year. Well, not last year, but 2024.
True.
Got no
I
trophy
think I
for
can
that.
say off the back of this is get fucked, Marty. Fuck up your game.
Again, aye. But to skim through this, we've got top initials. So A, Andrew Stone. C, Christopher Murphy again. D, David Reed again. And J, we've got J-Mac. There we go. Who'd have thought that?
Is that J-Mac for J-Mac's arm as a middle left?
Fair
They're
J,
the
man.
one and the same.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
I realize I'm kicking the bear here, and I don't really want to know the answer to this. But why? What happened to top Z?
There's no any Z's, I don't think.
No, but like,
There's any-
you only went
Unless,
through
like,
about
Zahara
you only went,
joins,
no, no,
isn't
you went through about 5 initials there. Surely there's a lot more initials.
No, because you need
I think
to
the thing is there needs to
qualify.
be people. There needs to be multiple people competing for it. So there needs to be at least 2 people
Sean
with that
Sproul.
initial.
Sean
Yeah,
Sproul on
that
Facebook
have-
is Zen.
Yes, aye.
Aye,
And those
but
There needs to be at
people-
least
he
2
needs to
people
have
with that
someone up
initial
against.
that have 4 scores.
Yeah. And also,
you-
am I right in saying if you podium, then
and if you look at the rest of the top Scot standings there, I don't think Sean's on them at all.
He plays in Ireland now, is he not?
Oh, there you
Aye,
go.
that's it.
Exactly. So why
to
would they
be
be
honest,
getting 4
I-
Scottish scores?
you've opened a can of worms here, Casper.
know.
You have.
I
May as
just
well
roll
close
on on.
those worms. But
Aye.
aye, no, well done again to everybody who's done well in Top Scot, because it's cool that there's like another option for people to win things just based on going to events in Scotland, or even just participating and stuff on the Facebook page and stuff like that. And aye, it's cool to see people get into it, and it's nice to win a couple of things myself. But yeah, nice for the other folk, obviously, especially the guys at the top in that. Mark Finlay, no Mark, sorry, Finlay, Ian, Stewart, and then obviously
That's
you get
what I put
Andy
in
and aye. Well, you won it last year, man.
Mark was
maybe
so
next year,
last
maybe-
year, man. He was so 2024.
Maybe you just do well
Let's
in the
be a
odd
bit of a
years.
fall from grace, like a little bit.
I'm there with you, mate. Don't worry.
To be honest, anyone who's won it has never been on the podium the next again year.
Well, that's an
Even
interesting
Ian,
thing for
after he won
Finlay.
the first one, what was he in the second year?
It wasn't. The second year it was me, someone.
It was you, Dave, and Finlay, wasn't
Someone.
Aye, it was. Yeah, it was.
it? Yeah. And then after that was me,
Finlay.
Finlay. Who was third?
And Casper.
Casper.
Oh, was it yourself?
In hell, we're going
Yeah,
back
yeah.
now.
And then this year
Ah,
it's
we're going back to
Finlay,
2024.
Ian, and Stuart.
I was going to say, we'll come back a year
Steady
ago.
on.
2026.
But it certainly is, aye.
Right,
And I
yeah.
guess one last thing for us to take a look at is the
Yes.
Team Scotland announcement
Thanks,
for
Dave.
2026.
Thanks, Dave, for moving that on. Yeah,
We know how to go back to top initial
announcement.
now.
I mean, no, I definitely don't. I'm assuming that's it done. You don't do it next year, do you? Or is it making
Don't
a
do what?
comeback? Top initials.
Oh, top initials will be back, huh?
Oh no,
Was there last year? No.
It's your
No.
favourite part of Top Scot.
guys. Teams, yeah. So, without, I mean, we've pretty much been congratulating people for doing well. So, it's sort
Yeah,
of the
most of the
same
people that we've
thing, really. It's
mentioned
doing
Are
well.
sort of
Yeah.
it's the same folk largely, obviously, because a lot of these people, like, you qualify where the top 8 qualify, and then the 8 of us that qualified vote for 4 wildcards. And we're actually able to get it done super efficiently this year as well. That sometimes can be a bit of a thing that you want to try and get it done post finale before Christmas if you can, so we're not kind of taking up people's time over the festive period with it and getting it all announced. But now we were able to smash through all the voting, and people were like, well, I guess a couple of folk who did qualify or maybe approached couldn't make it, but we had a lot of really positive response to the people who are keen to go over to Denmark with us in May for the WCC, which is really, really cool. And yeah, happy to announce the teams. So I'm back on Team 1, which is nice. Got asked back on Team 1 by Ian and Finlay, who were the 2 guys who did qualify outright for Team 1, and then myself and Andy Stone joined up with them to make up Team 1. I'll be captain once again of that team, so Yeah, my 7th WTC this year. I think it's my 7th WTC. I've been at every single one anyway, and been a captain for all of them. So that's going to be really cool. Something to look forward to later in the year. And then we've got Mark and Liddell, as well as Marty, will be captained by Christopher Murphy on Team 2. Both returning again. And Team 3 is basically pretty much a brand new team. Like we mentioned Henry earlier, who just won Christmas in Middle-earth. He last year he was there as a merc. This year, first time actually representing Team Scotland, and he's going to be the Team 3 captain. And he's got Danny and Alex Walker, who again, obviously we spoke at them a bit enough throughout the episodes, like seeing how well they're doing. And again, great example of people who I never look at the teams as like a closed shop or anything like that. That's something I very much don't want people to think that. And again, these guys highlight the fact that you can come into the scene if you do well, you're going to get offered a spot in the team. And also Caleb Silvergeld as well, who played for us on Nations Cup last year. Like Caleb spent a bit of time over here at uni for at St Andrews Uni. He's back again for another year, and he's going to be playing for Scotland on Team 3 for the second time after playing for us at the Nations Cup this year and doing pretty well. And that makes up the team, our 3 teams for the year. We are going to be running some practice days. I don't know if the episode will be out in time, but if it is, we're going to have our first practice day at Nightly Gaming this Sunday, but I'll put the post up on the Facebook page to let people know about that. Practice days are welcome for anyone to attend, so if we've got some listeners who are keen on this sort of thing and they want to come along to a practice day, we'd absolutely love to have you there, because that's sometimes the best way to show your interest for future years. And we have had people like Andy Stone's a great example of someone who like came along at some of the practice days when he wasn't on the team, showed his interest, improved his results a bit, and then got asked to be on the team this year or 2025 for the first time, and then now he's on Team 1. So we'll be running a few of them throughout the year before the event, because I think list submissions in like late March, early April, so we've got a bit of time to refine our lists. And if people want to come along and get involved and help us practice with 700-point armies, please do that. And even if you don't, you just want to come and say hello, or you just want to come along and play some casual games at the same time that we are practicing, then that's totally fine to do that as well. So keep an eye out for them, and then hopefully we'll have a lot of support for the Scottish community. Will be backing us to go and do well in Copenhagen. I guess that's watch the space. We'll have a bit more. I'm sure we'll do a podcast about the WTC itself after the event, but we'll probably mention some of the practice days and stuff as they're happening.
Should be a bit of chat about it, run an update. Aye. Are you devastated to no longer be Scotland's skinniest team captain?
That's true. I suppose I am no longer the skinniest team captain, which I mean is not. That's a bit of a shocking indictment of the Scottish scene, to be quite honest, really. But I'm still second, I guess. Sorry, stuff, but
way to throw your team captain under the bus there, like.
He's a substantial man, but he's very glad to have him as my captain.
Like Stoffage.
We
Keep
don't
him
want to do it.
hydrated. Keep him hydrated this
I
time.
know, I'm not
But it is Copenhagen, so it shouldn't be too bad.
I will do.
it should be all right.
I'll just feed him
Hopefully.
bacon.
Just wait to spend the entire time in hospital again. That'd be a bit shit.
Bacon. Okay, now. That pretty much wraps us up for this episode. Was there anything else you wanted to go into, guys?
No, I think so.
that's the lot.
I mean, obviously, we touched at the top about the ticket giveaway.
Yep.
Just get your comments in for that. And otherwise, really, I think just again, another congratulations to everybody that's done well in all the varying different parts of the hobby in 2025, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of that in 2026. Really, there's plenty of events to go from. I mean, AUE being the first one, but I know like Mini's got an event coming up in January, which the week after, 24th of January, it's sold out at the moment. But,
30 players.
if you probably get 30 players for that, which is great. I mean, you can probably get your name on the reserve list, and then Cameron Rory's running a narrative event in February, which again, tickets are on sale for that. Another one that's this team championship in March, it's sold out, and I think our first 100 of the year, Green Hollow and Kill Bill, which is the 90 before it, is in April. And that unfortunately that coincides with the Nations Cup, which is why we're not sending a team to the Nations Cup this year. because it does coincide with Green Hollow, and like largely we kind of just want to get behind Green Hollow and give that the support we can as a Scottish community,
You forgot
because it's our first hundreds. Yes, it's got tickets on sale in Dundee. So the early events are starting to put their tickets out. So yeah, just get buying tickets, and we'll see you at events, I'm sure. And maybe you can get a mention in the podcast review 2026 after having won some stuff or painted some stuff or qualified for things. And
Assuming
it's all
we're
good.
still running, we'll be tearing off the air, you know.
Hopefully we do get ourselves cancelled between now and then. I'm sure we'll be fine.
The rules pack for the Heart of Scotland will be up soon as well. I know I said that before, but I mean, I was half dead.
I think we are literally working on it tomorrow. As a little touched on, he's been pretty sick over the last bit of time, but I believe you're going to have something for me to review tomorrow. So yeah, keep an eye on that as well. That's another cool weekend event that Liddell's running in March, and that should be a nice new one with a very nice prize as well, I must say.
A weekend
first
event,
place prize
Casper. Weekend. Just for you.
GBHL 90.
On the Saturday.
Right,
Yeah,
anyway, that's March. Let's get this tied up. Let's stop waffling. Just to remind everyone, get commenting on this video. Tell us what you loved about the edition. The first year of the edition just dropped. I think we're all pretty high on it now, having a year under our belt. So let us know. Any troll comment, and I'm sure Liddell will be at your door giving you fines. So please do not do that.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned that, because that's not going to open the door to them.
If you've already...
You've literally just opened the door there, Casper. Well done.
Listen, comments on the video is all good to me. There's no such news as bad news, Liddell. Drive some...
But we're not going to talk about it on the podcast, are we?
Yeah.
We want stuff to talk about in the podcast.
I encourage it.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys.
Aye.
Cheers.
On that note, we are going to be wrapping up there. So we will catch you all, and thanks for getting this far on Lich King Podcast, episode number 8. We'll be back with you sooner rather than later.
Still talking.
Right, Liddell.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
Bye. Oops.
I think you should...